Hi there, it's Lerald. Blizzcon happened last weekend and brought the amazing news about the upcoming expansion Battle for Azeroth. So today I'm going to focus in on the 6 most exciting things about the new expansion. First up, it's the Heart of Azeroth. A lot of players were looking forward to leaving behind Legion systems, and I have to admit I was initially skeptical of farming Azerite. But I think Blizzard has fixed most of the problems from the artifact power system. The Heart of Azeroth seems to pick up the best components of the Netherlight Crucible, where you farm a resource to gain specific traits, but it leaves behind most of the bad parts. We'll see how testing works out, but Heart of Azeroth levels seem like a substantially smaller amount of overall player power than artifact levels have been throughout Legion. So feeling like you have to chain yourself to your computer and farm every possible point of Azerite is probably not going to be the same kind of issue in Battle for Azeroth as it was for AP in Legion. The biggest problem with the Netherlight Crucible is that the artifact system has so many low value or just completely worthless traits. You might find a relic that has the perfect base trait, put it into the Netherlight Crucible, and find that every single trait in the tree is worthless. Since the Heart of Azeroth's ability tiers will consist only of similar value traits, you won't have to make super frustrating choices between throughput and, let's call it, utility. I think that's a huge improvement. Blizzard also perfectly fixed probably the 2 most irritating issues with artifact weapons. The Heart of Azeroth works for every spec on your character, which means that you aren't gimping one spec just to play another. And because of that, when you gain Azerite, it just immediately goes into the Heart. No more weak off specs, and no more filling up your bags with AP tokens. All glory to the Heart of Azeroth. Next up on the list, it's allied races, which are basically a high-concept version of sub-races. The WoW community has wanted these for years now, and they are really sweet. We're going to get 6 allied races to start out. The Horde will get High Mountain Tauren, Nightborn, and Zandalari Trolls, and the Alliance will be joined by Void Elves, Dark Iron Dwarves, and Lightforged Draenei. With the addition of 6 new races, 6 more character slots will open up on each realm. As for how they're unlocked, you basically complete a quest chain to convince that group to join your faction, and then you unlock the ability to race change to them, or to make a new character of that race. And it's been a little unclear as to whether you need to level to 120 to do the quest chain, or if that's something that's added in a pre-patch if you pre-order like Demon Hunters were. My guess is that may happen, but we'll see. If you level a fresh character of that race to 110, it unlocks a race-specific armor appearance, and they look pretty good. The new races have racial skills and passives that are different from their related races. We only really know about the Lightforged Draenei and High Mountain Tauren from the demos on the Blizzcon floor, but to use them as an example, Lightforged Draenei are able to deal blast of AoE damage instead of Gift of the Naru, and High Mountain Tauren charge forward and knock enemies down instead of War Stomp. They also get moose horns while they're in druid form, so that's neat. My only issue with this is that none of the new races will be able to be Death Knights. At least initially. They've said they are considering putting it in eventually, but I really want to be a High Mountain Tauren Death Knight so that I can charge. Akusa's definitely excited about getting to be a Nightborn priest. She's pretty much wanted to be one since we first got to Suramar. Good for her. I'm definitely not jealous or anything. Island expeditions are probably the feature I'm most excited about in Battle for Azeroth. They're 3-player scenarios built to last about 15 minutes. And just like Mists of Pandaria scenarios, you can do them as any role. Unlike Mists of Pandaria scenarios, these have a lot of procedurally generated components, and they are intentionally designed for endless replayability. Basically, they're a race to collect as much Azerite as possible from the island, as a team. In addition to the danger on the islands, you have to fight against a 3-man team of the other faction. These exist in PvE and PvP formats, and the PvE version will feature an enemy team made up of the new tactical AI characters. They're designed to try and simulate how real players would play, and exhibit some randomness and real decision making rather than just always running straight at you and trying to stab your face off. I'm really excited about this particular aspect of Island Expeditions, and I think that if the feedback is positive, this could actually wind up being expanded upon significantly in the future. I've always believed that instead of trying to make WoW 2, Blizzard would probably just implement their coolest WoW 2 ideas into expansions for WoW. This definitely seems to fit that bill, and it's really ambitious. I can't wait to try them out. Warfronts are another new addition I'm excited about. Basically, you play as an individual Warcraft unit going out to gather resources, constructing buildings, and building up an army to try and go take down the enemy commander. These were a little light on details compared to everything else, but I believe they're planned to take less time than a dungeon, so maybe on the 25-minute mark. And they're probably not going to be available at all times, similar to weekend events. If that is the case, and they have a pretty good reward structure, I think I'm going to wind up being a big fan. The old world is being changed to have the same scaling tech as the Broken Isles, and this feature will actually be coming in patch 7.3.5. I guess that technically makes it a Legion feature, but I'm going to count it with Battle for Azeroth. To put it simply, starting zones will still be level 1 through 10, but all the rest of Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms will be 10 through 60. Outland and Northrend will be 60 through 80, and Cataclysm zones in Pandaria will be for levels 80 through 90. There was zero mention of Warlords getting the Legion treatment. I wouldn't hold my breath, but I guess we'll just have to see on that. I really like this change. I've always liked leveling new characters. There's something very nostalgic about it for me. But after 7 or 8 years of class changes and heirlooms since Cataclysm revamped the old world, the actual process and flow of leveling up a character all the way from level 1 is pretty poor these days. Alright, final order of business. This was tossed out basically as an afterthought during the Q&A panel, but the default backpack is going to be increased in size from 16 slots. You will have to attach an authenticator to your account to get the upgrade, but you should really do that anyways. They didn't actually say how much they're going to increase the backpack in size, but I wouldn't put it past Blizzard to only increase it by like 2 slots. But whatever, more bag space is more bag space. Who's gonna argue? Not me. Well, that about covers it. As with any expansion release, there is a ton of new content, and we are really hyped. If you have questions or comments, and I'm sure you do, use the comments section or get at us on Twitter. Thanks for watching. Bye.